What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Here we are, Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we like to talk about games. We like to tell you why. Why am I saying we, since I'm the only one here that does the talking? Seriously, we drop a video every day of the week on Tuesdays. I like to tell you about why I love a particular game, why a game has my attention and that I enjoy playing it. Now, it's not an overall review for the game. I do more in-depth reviews than this, but this is still very important to me because it encapsulates in a nutshell why I enjoy a certain title. So now, if you enjoy content like this, please hit that subscribe button and help us out. We do provide sponsor-free daily videos. We're a non-monetized channel. No plans to monetize or getting sponsors. We're doing what we want here. If you support that, please hit that subscribe bell. Subscribe and the bell. All right, everyone. So why don't we get down to the table and talk about a game of epic proportion? Oh, we're going to sit down and talk about Conan the Cimmerian, Tower of the Elephant. I'll see you down the table. Thank you for joining me down here. Now, I am a big fan of Robert E. Howard, and Conan is his favorite character of mine. There are so many that he did, like Solomon Kane, Kull, but I really gravitate towards the barbarian. I always have. And he's also another author of great weird fiction tales. He was a corresponding friend with H.P. Lovecraft, and early on joined him in helping create the mythos. So he is a very prolific writer that has done a lot of work in the literary field that to this day kind of goes unsung. Now, Conan is the kind of character that is filled with deep melancholies. Mood swings this guy has. His moods swing more than his sword does half the time. He's a very complicated character. And it's hard to capture that in a game without the game just coming off like another common dungeon delve that you could have just removed the name Conan from and put any name in there and the game would still make total sense. With that being said, this is one of the two games that I have played that captures that feel of Conan. And this does it because it is directly tearing its story from one of arguably Robert E. Howard's best penned Conan story, and with the Tower of the Elephant, it brings this game together because it allows this game to move forward in an action-packed way while still maintaining the storyline. Now, anyone that is familiar with this particular story or Conan in general, you may find the game a little railroading. Maybe I should put it like that. Because you're not really going to be deviating from the story that much. Yes, you are in charge of how he attacks, where he goes in the tower. Well, not really. He's moving down level to level. You don't have a choice in that. But it brings certain things together and brings you into the game this way, into the story. Taking part of you and melding it with part of Conan. Now, this game has some very nice miniatures. I enjoy the miniatures in the game. I'm glad that the Kickstarter was able to generate enough for their stretch goals to make this happen. However, it would have been nice if they were able to do that with all of the miniatures. Now, I don't mind. In fact, I just recently did a couple of Mondays ago. Was it last Monday or 2 Mondays ago? For one of my midday monologue Mondays, I actually talked about a very similar topic to this, miniatures versus standees. I don't mind one way or the other. If it's a nice standee, if it's a color picture, especially if the color picture's on clear acrylic. Wow, that is mind blowing. But I don't mind the standees at all. They look nice. In fact, since almost every standee I've ever seen comes full color, and I'm not a miniature painter, it kind of works a little bit better visually than an unpainted miniature does. The miniatures look amazing. Now, I can't paint them, but if sometimes they do come pre-painted, that's amazing. I really love seeing them sitting on the table. But mixing the two up, I wasn't a fan of that. Now, I usually don't say negative things about games. This particular series is about everything that is positive about a game that I love, but I really did have to address this. The fact that they mix and match, that Conan, his partner Taurus, as long as he lasts in the story, Yara the wizard, and his giant spider are miniatures. Everything else is a cardboard standee, and they look nice. The art is more than passable. It's good art. You enjoy looking at it, but the visual disconnection between looking at the board and seeing some miniatures, some standees, really did detract from me. Not enough to stop playing the game. I mean, I did run each and every one of those levels on camera, and I had a lot of fun. That easily comes through in the video, how much fun I had running it. But I wasn't happy that they mixed and matched. If you can't afford to go all the way, then you shouldn't bother. I'm 100% or nothing kind of guy. What can I say? It's that's exactly how I feel. They should have gone all the way with the miniatures. But then again, that would have bumped up the price of the game. And the stretch goals in this game weren't the best, weren't the greatest. They were stretched out a little far. They tried to combine too much Conan into this Kickstarter by bringing in Conan properties from other board games, role-playing games, all as extras. Well, you know, what if we don't have them and we don't want them? But getting back to everything that is good about this game, now I've put it off long enough. We're already past the 5-minute mark. It's about time I talk about the, quote, elephant in the room, all pun intended, and that's the box, the board, the box board, the boards of boxes, because that's what this is. In order to build the tower, and this is an amazing visual for the game, for the tabletop, it really is, and I love tower games. I do. I like seeing them rise up out of the table. It looks a little majestic. It's eye-catching, right? So with this, what they did is it's nesting dolls. The game box is a series of nesting doll boxes with each one a little bit smaller so it can fit in the previous one, and then you pull them all out and you stack them up on top of each other, and boom, there you have the tower. It is amazing. It is absolutely fantastic to look at. It sits on your table and it demands respect. In a sense, it demands to be noticed. Now, it's a little cumbersome. Well, maybe that's not the right word. It's a little troublesome. Just move, going from level to level and then taking it off, flipping it over. But it's a small problem. It's a small problem. There are people out there that aren't going to be happy with that. But really, in the grand scheme of this game and everything, it's a minor point. It's a minor point. The combat system in this game is very interesting. I liked it. I liked the way the dice rolling was done. I liked the way in certain fights and aspects the guards or even Yara will have definite attacks. They'll have like one set permanent die that's like always going to be an attack, and then the others are rolled and randomized. Now you have a chance to mitigate your dice roll too, which is why I love it. So during your Conan combat section, you're able to sacrifice dice, to re-roll dice, which is very common. You get the chance to get defensive dice, right? Blocks, and even ripostes to block an attack. So not just because they all have a minimum of one automatic attack, strike, hit, doesn't mean that they're always going to hit you every turn. If you're facing off 3 guards, it doesn't mean that every turn until you take them down, you're automatically going to be taking 3 damage. You have ways to control that. I like the way the dice work in this game. I like the way rage, anger plays a part in this game. How getting hurt itself pisses off Conan. And it'll eventually build up and you get a rage die from that. And I also like the way when you have the dice set up for your, let's say, attack or big hit rage strike or something like that, you get to make an option. If you have 3 dice in that line, if you have 3 6s, let's say, the big hit, then it depends on how you want to use it. You want to use it 1 die at a time, you want to use 2, you want to use 3, and they will have greater effects. I really enjoyed that. It was a very interesting aspect to the game. Now, keep in mind that I've been talking this entire time talking about the solo play of the game. It is mainly a solo game. It was built to be a solo game, but it has the 2-player option where one player plays Conan and the other player will play Yara, the evil sorcerer. I haven't had a chance to try that yet, and who knows, I may have to do another video on that if anything enough in that strikes me different than what I'm saying here. Overall, I was highly entertained with the game. I found it a lot of fun. One more little detraction that I want to say is, I know I'm going to be playing this game a lot because I'm such a huge Conan fan, and living through an actual Robert E. Howard story through a game is amazing. But that's because of my fandom, because I'm a fanboy for Conan and Robert E. Howard. If you're not, you might not find a hell of a lot of replayability in this game. Every encounter is going to be the same. What's going to make it different is how you set up Conan from the beginning, what attacks you choose to start the game off with, and then as you go up in levels, which attacks you're going to be adding to your cards. So that's going to make it different, but every single encounter is always going to be the same. Outside of Conan fans, maybe 3 or 4 playthroughs, solo style. With the 2-player, I don't know, maybe just about as many. And then after that, I don't see it becoming anything but sort of just repetitious, you know? But for Conan fans like me, you could be playing this game a hell of a lot more and a lot longer. It is a great game, it is a fun game, and I really wish, particularly because of what I just said, that there's going to be some expansions for this, or add-ons, or standalone expansions that you can mix and match things between these Conan stories. Because that's what we need. We need more Conan board games that are about Conan, that aren't just a mindless, everyday, run-of-the-mill dungeon delve board game that you throw Conan into. We need more games like this. So, that's my 2 cents, or should I say, that's my 2GP, and how I feel and why I enjoy Conan the Cimmerian, Tower of the Elephant. So give the game a check out and let me know what you think about it. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming, and I